Welcome to Connect with County Leaders. Here's your host, Bryan Hill.
Hello and welcome to Connect with County Leaders. I'm Bryan Hill. On this edition of the podcast, I am joined by Scott Brillman, Director of our Department of Public Safety Communications, better known as the county's 911 Center. Scott, welcome to the podcast. How are you doing today?
Doing great. Happy to be here.
Happy to be here. You're smiling. You know why you're smiling? I was in the employee orientation, and I'm smiling with you. 14 new DPSC employees. How did you do that? Because that is the most I've seen in one employee orientation ever. And I want to say thank you to you and to your team for getting us. So how'd you do that?
Mr. Hill, this is our largest class ever at DPSC. And what we did was we had to look at what we were doing for the past 20 years and look at things that didn't work and tweak things. And we brought a team of our folks from all over the center and our HR team. And we looked at how we were interviewing and how we were doing social media and how we were testing folks. And we changed things around. We did things differently. We said trifolds are not going to work anymore for this new generation. And now we're getting a lot of folks applying to 911.
You know, it's interesting. I made an observation or came up with a conclusion, and I stated this to the chairman. I said, you know, what we did in 1994 was great. What we need to do in 2024 is very different. And you are the epitome of being different. You're coming here from Baltimore. Give me an idea of what the difference between Baltimore County, or was it city?
Baltimore City. Yeah.
Give me a difference between Baltimore City and Fairfax County and what you've seen in the year plus that you've been here. It's been a year already, huh? Can you believe that?
It's almost been a year, but it's been a great experience. Okay. And there's a lot of similarities, and there's some differences. And let me talk about the things that are the same. Both Baltimore City and Fairfax has amazing 911 operators and dispatchers. They're truly first responders, and they do amazing work. Both centers are very busy. In Baltimore, we're taking different types of calls. Our population in Baltimore is only 650,000, and we're taking over 1.4 million calls.
Wow.
In Fairfax, we're taking a little over 1 million. And some of the calls are the same, some are different, but the folks in the center are the bread and butter that come in every day, and they're the heroes that are saving lives.
Well, absolutely. You have great staff. You have a great facility. You're working on some new and creative initiatives. Why don't you give us a little idea of what you're working on? Because I've seen them, a couple of them, and I'm a nerd when it comes to computers and technology. And the overview that you gave me and Deputy County Executive Arnold was fascinating. So why don't we talk a little bit about that?
Well, all through my career, and that's 20 years in Baltimore, I've known Fairfax as the leaders in technology and innovation. And I can't take credit for it, but now I'm here. And we're continuing that legacy. And so in the next few months, we're updating our systems to be able to handle a lot more than a phone call. And so in the future, you'll be calling 911 through video, of course, text message. You can send us pictures. But this system can also send us data. Data from your vehicle, from your refrigerator, from your alarm system. So we're really getting into the future. But let me talk a little bit about language translation, which it's my favorite. We'll be able to instantly translate 170 languages, over 170 languages. And we don't have to wait for an interpreter. And using AI, when somebody calls 911, it will detect the language they're speaking, and it will display to us in English, and then we will respond back in English, and it will display to them in the language that they called us. So we're really excited about that. It's going to help us respond to calls faster, and it gives everyone access to 911, which is very important to us.
Well, you know, we have a strategic plan, and we have 10 very good initiatives, if I can say so myself. And you're speaking about the being equitable and being able to ensure that we touch all of our folks in Fairfax County, because our public school system, like you just mentioned, has 100 60 plus different languages. You're saying we're going to translate on the spot 170. Is that the wave for all 911 centers going forward?
I am hoping that what we do here in Fairfax will spread to the 6,500 centers across the country. And it has in the past. We've done stuff here where people have piggybacked off of our contracts and our technology. But equity is the center of our operation. And we have a rule. The rule is everyone must have access to 911. It doesn't matter what community you're in. It doesn't matter what you look like, where you came from, what language you speak, or if you have a disability. You must be able to reach 911 when you need help. Okay. And we're focused on that. So
when you left Baltimore, obviously you were engaged. There's a lot of things that you encountered. Are there similar things that you've encountered going from Baltimore to Fairfax? And are there things that surprised you leaving Baltimore and then coming to Fairfax?
Yeah. So
you smiled. That's not good. First of all, it's good.
Yeah. I mean, so there's challenges across the country right now, and challenges in 911 and fire and police, and that's staffing. And so we're ramping up our staffing and recruitment efforts to tackle that. But we're also all moving into a next generation world where everyone has cell phones. And this is a major challenge for us. Everyone, teenagers have cell phones, grandparents, brothers, sisters, but they also have other devices that can call 911, watches, iPads. Your vehicle can call 911. In the future, your refrigerator will have sensors to call 911 when it detects heat. And so we have to look at this, and we have to respond on our end to tackle all these calls. And we're getting busier and busier every day because of this technology.
So when you say we have 1 million calls, how many of them are actually 911 emergency versus non-emergency?
Yeah, it's about split. It's about 500,000 emergency, and half of them are not emergency calls.
Okay, and walk us through, because you and I have had this conversation, because I want to use AI to deal with the 500,000 non-emergencies once you know it. Do we have anything forthcoming that's going to allow us to separate the two calls? Obviously, you're going to get, all 1 million calls are going to get a live body.
Sure.
But when can we figure out how to flick the switch? You go into non-emergency because, I understand there's a crack in your sidewalk. We want to get back to folks that need us like right now.
Yeah, number one, it's important to us that we handle emergency calls, fires, rescues, crimes in progress by phone, so we can quickly get you help. But the non-emergency calls, we want to put the power in the residents' and visitors' hands. Right. And so when they call in the future, we're going to direct them to put in the information, take a picture of it so we have that, and then we'll get the exact location of the incident, and we can actually respond faster to that. We don't want folks waiting on the phone to tell us about a non-emergency call or a parking complaint.
So what strategy do you have for continuous improvement for your center?
It's a good question.
I try to have good questions, at least once a year.
So my strategy is, number one, to put the people first. Yeah. They're the ones coming up with the strategy and the tools to improve our center. And I have to tell you a story. When I got down here, I talked to, I was lucky enough to talk to past directors that are still engaged in the center. And one of them is Steve Souter. The other one, Mike Fischel. And Steve Souter gave me a little bit of advice. He said, the folks in the center are smart and they're driven and they know what they're doing. They need support and they need a little bit of direction and then you'll be fine. And that's what I plan to continue to do.
Well, you have made an immeasurable impact in a short period of time. The one thing I've always said is family's always first. And I've said that in orientation, I've said that on the floor. When we look at mental health, how are we dealing with mental health? Because people don't realize, very stressful job. There are a lot of things that they see and hear, or mostly hear. Now you're bringing the seeing component as well. How are we dealing with that and ensuring that our team is going to be spot on? And obviously hiring more people is going to help because you can break up the amount of hours they work, but what are you doing to ensure that we have mental health taken care of?
Mental health is actually a #1 priority in our center. And to talk about mental health, I need to explain to you what happens in our center and what our folks go through. So across the nation, there's 240 million 911 calls, and people are calling at the worst time in their lives. They don't wake up and expect to call 911. They just experienced something catastrophic in their lives. And these 911 calls are not calm people. They're folks that are scared, they're yelling, they're crying. You can hear fear in their voice. And over time, that gets to our folks. When you listen to people crying every day, multiple times a day, so we take care of their mental health. We try to build resiliency. And we do that in a couple ways. Number one, when they first come in, we teach them about mental health and what it feels like to not be okay. And we talk about post-traumatic stress. But in the center, we have some areas where they can really just chill out after a bad call. We have quiet rooms. We have a gym where we allow them to work out and burn off the stress. We have a full kitchen where they can eat. Everybody loves to eat when they're stressed out, but they can cook healthy meals. And we just got rocking chairs. People like to rock when they're stressed out. But more importantly, we have some resources in the county that help us. One, this is unique to Fairfax. We have a mental health clinician inside our center that are not only handling behavioral health calls and mental health calls, they're taking care of us. Right. And we also have a health and wellness center that we share with fire and police and other law enforcement agencies where, and I wish I had this in my career, where if I took a bad call, and not all calls go the way we want it to go. If I took a bad call, I want to talk to somebody about it. And Fairfax has a resource where they can talk to a mental health clinician or a therapist to just get it off your mind before you go home. And that's how we take care of our people. And I'll tell you, our supervisors and our managers in the center do a great job monitoring our folks. The last thing I want to say about mental health, because I could talk to you about it for hours, is we have our own peer support team. Good. Folks inside the center that are trained in mental health and trained into talking to people when they have a bad incident. And we've deployed this team across the region, and we're always using them inside the center. And these folks are special, and we need them. And we want to build our team larger than what it is now. Kudos
to you and your management team. So, when we look at and when we understand what you just said, 911 is huge, right? How do you manage or communicate with other public safety and non-public safety agencies throughout? Because it's just not about Fairfax. We have a region here. Yeah. So how do you kind of manage within that scope and sphere as well?
Yeah, Mr. Hill, I don't know how to say this without just saying it. Relationships are everything. Right. And partnerships are everything. You could have the best fire department, the best police department, but if you don't have relationships, and the best 911 center, but if you don't have relationships with everyone else, you're not going to have a great day. And so inside of Fairfax, our center is unique. We have multiple agencies co-located in our center. We have state and local. So we have Virginia Department of Transportation, we have 911, we have the state police, we have emergency management, and we have fire and police. And right there, face-to-face communication, there's no better communication than that. But every day, we are a coordination center. The 911 center is not only a call center, but we coordinate and talk to other counties 24/7. We're passing calls to each other, we're sharing resources, we're talking about shared protocols, we're always reviewing our technology, and more than ever, we're connecting our technology together to make sure the response is faster for our residents and visitors that come in the area.
And I'm so happy that you said that. But now I'm going to ask you this tough question. Yeah. What's next? What is next with what and how we provision our services? What do you think is like the cutting edge where we need to get to?
Yeah, I mean, the cutting edge is where I want to be in 5 years is when you need help, You can FaceTime us. You don't have to talk. We can see what's going on. If you're having a medical emergency, we don't have to ask you a whole bunch of questions that sometimes are frustrating. We have a clinician in the center or a paramedic or a nurse that can see your injury, and we can deploy resources immediately to you. That's what I see in the future. But I see greater partnerships with our folks around the country, where if we need to help take calls for them, if they need to help us, we can help each other and our systems connect.
What are your thoughts on kind of having a mega 911 call center?
Yeah, it's a great question. That is the trend across the country, and I am in support of it because I believe that all boats should rise together. Everyone should have the same standard of protocols, the same standard in technology, no matter what county you drive through.
Right.
And so if the county or the small town can't keep up, I think a larger county should absorb them, or there should be discussion in consolidation.
And I think that's great that we're thinking that way. And the reason why I asked that question is that down at Fort Belvoir, Garrison Commander Messina, who's now moving on, that was a conversation we had when we were doing that exercise together. Fire Chief Good, yourself, Fire Chief Butler, Chief Davis, we all need to figure out how to make this communication a little bit smoother, streamlined it. You're the right person for the job, so that when I look at you, I say best in class, right? I see what we do with DPSC, we say best in class. I want to make sure that we're able to continuously be best in class with people like you that we're hiring and coming into Fairfax County that is bringing in the new vision and the new thought process. We are best in class, and we're building on that best in class. So I want to say thank you to you for accepting the offer to come from Baltimore City. Really quick question.
Yeah.
How has the wife and the child been adapting to Fairfax County? Because I know you just bought a house.
She loves it. So she was the one that Googled it and said, Scott. She goes, Scott, great schools, safe county, great parks, we're moving. She's in charge, really. And so she moved us down here, and it's been a great experience.
That's a great plug. You can make sure that she can just fast forward to that part and hear you say that?
Yep.
Okay, well, that's going to be all for this episode of Connect with County Leaders. I want to say thank you to Scott Brillman. Your ideas, the way you do business, is exactly what I've been trying to bring in with with new staff into Fairfax County. I look for great things happening in 911, DPSC. Drew Clark, your new deputy, great guy, great people working there. Thank you for allowing me this opportunity for you, the residents of Fairfax County, to meet Scott Brillman, who is leading DPSC. And thank you for connecting with County Leaders. We'll see you again next month. Thank you.